I am monologuing right now. This is what I'm doing. I told Cameron I was ready, but I'm not. And I feel like he can tell now that I wasn't ready. I was looking at my emails. I just want to say, what's the deal with Roombas? You know, like, what's the deal with Roombas? This is, I think, one of the things that's wrong with our world. If, like, in 800 years, when they find these little spacecrafts buried in the dirt, they're going to think, oh my gosh, intelligent life is out there. But no, these are Roombas. And they're going to try and make them work, but they won't work because they've never worked. If you've had a Roomba, write us, please. Let us know if you love it or if you trip over it. Or if your cat rides on it. Maybe a chinchilla. Do people let chinchillas out and around their house? I don't know. They're basically like really, really wide squirrels. Just squirrels with wide faces and wide bodies. I once held a chinchilla. I enjoyed it. Welcome to Unhitched or Dad Trying. My name is Lauren Neat, and with me, as always, is the host, the editor, the tallest one in the room.
And producer.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Schmoosher.
The producer, the mix master.
Yeah.
Mix master Cameron Carter.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. That was a cool bit.
I'm ready now.
You're ready now? You're ready to restart?
No, that was gold.
If you say so. It was comedy gold, Jerry. And speaking of which, Roombas, what's been going on in your life Roomba-wise lately? Where are Roombas coming from?
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that...
It's one of those things, or as you like to put it, spacecrafts.
I think they look like tiny little spacecrafts, and I think
that what a hot take.
We're gonna confuse the people of the future when anthropologists from the year, 3040 start to find.
If we're even here.
Well, we won't be here, but
yeah.
I really hope some anthropologists might be. Well, you never know. You never know.
I hope. You know what? I hope more than just anthropologists are still around in the year 3040.
Yeah,
is that right?
3040. Sure. I feel like if only anthropologists were around, then really, like, what would they eat? Because, who would do, like, the farming?
I don't know. So there would be a very interesting loop of just like a continuous cycle of anthropologists studying anthropologists, right? And it would be very short-lived because it's like, hey, which one of us are going to, like, do any of us want to have, like, I don't know, 2 jobs like this? We all can't do this full-time. And, it's like, no, my work is everything. It's all about immersion. And I can't pull myself out in order to work at Denny's or work in the potato field or the cloning field, where we farm our substance.
Where we farm all of our beings. Well,
I don't know why that sounded very Jewish.
Kind of did. A little Yiddish for you. I think what you'd find is a lot of these anthropologists would not only be spending all their time trying to figure out cultures of the past, but also trying to lay a perfect record for their current life so that anthropologists of the future, they're like trying to make it easy for them.
Yeah, sure.
This is putting an arrow to like a pot. Like, this is my pot. It's a pot. So no one has to wonder.
That's true. While at the same time trying to not observe them or trying to completely be like dual-minded about themselves and how they're doing everything. So like one being very conscious of it, but also not getting in the way of what he or she is actually doing. You know?
It would be really hard.
Thereby kind of disrupting the actual experiment.
Exactly.
So, it'd be interesting. I wonder, a world of anthropologists.
I was an anthropology major for a year.
Were you really?
I was.
So what happened?
I changed majors because I thought it wasn't fun, going to be lucrative.
No.
And I loved anthropology, but then I went into sports management, which is not lucrative either.
Well, it's lucrative at a certain, like, the toppest of the top.
True.
Sure. Whereas the top anthropologist, who is it?
Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And well, I guess he makes millions.
Yeah, and
That's true.
Millions in treasure and memories.
And in women.
Women, memories, and monkey brains.
He never had the monkey brains, did he?
No, but he could if he wanted.
That's true. It's all about power. It's all about power and
choice.
options, right?
Yeah. You know, I've only seen one James Bond. I mean, one Indiana Jones.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast. I feel like we are completely gone from Roombas to anthropologists to
Indiana
I guess
Jones.
we're still in anthropology, but we talked about this somewhere around Christmas time. Didn't we even try to watch Indiana Jones and the last? We did. We tried
did
watching
watch
it together,
but only sang. Cheney and I stayed up.
yes, and I was in and out.
Yeah, burger.
But because I've seen it a million times, and you know, what did you actually think? Are you jonesing for another indie?
I'm jonesing for another indie.
Yeah,
but it was cheesy and corny. But you have to get into the to the image. Wait, you have to go back in time to when the movie came out, and like that was pretty good for when the movie.
Or you
came
could just
out.
like immerse yourself in the movie as it is right here and now, like, and just I don't know, choose to enjoy it. There's a little bit of effort on your part. So
you have to kind of you can't compare it to like the modern day
the modern
action
where are you getting
movies.
that word from?
Bim bam.
They may be copyrighted. But like there is a modern day Indiana Jones. It's called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which that's where we don't even have time to unpack that. But it's a great what I like to call animated flick, because at the end of the day, most of that looks like, I don't know, something on the level of the Garfield movie voiced by Bill Murray. Like everything is just that cheesy cartoon. Like they meant to do all the CGI stuff, and it's a vomitrocious just mess just spat out on screen. And then there's this old Indiana Jones figure that walks through frame every 5 minutes or so. That's the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Harrison, if you're listening, I didn't say a word against your movies. Please come be
Other
guest.
than the fact that they're very hard to get into and you really have to make an effort to like immerse yourself in them, right? Or is that coming more from me?
That's coming from you, bro.
Well, you
calm your jets, man.
Well, why have you only seen one of these? If you love the man so much,
I've seen parts of all of them, but
parts of all the Harrison
except
Ford
for the
movies?
new ones, parts of all the Indiana Jones, because I was too little when they came out to watch them, and I watched from like behind the couch as my siblings watched them.
Right.
So
you were so a secondary child.
I know.
There were many of those movies where I had to watch from a corner and kind of like self-censor the movies for myself, which sucks because you never really know when the scary parts are coming. You know?
Oh, yeah.
We're talking like the type of scary parts that aren't really scary, like something on the level of like the classic example we keep going back to is the steamrolling. Well, any alien movie, but steamrolling Who Framed Roger Rabbit scene.
That's not scary.
It's incredibly horrifying. It is the thing of nightmares. We don't need to even touch on it. So,
oh man.
So, were you a big Harry and the Hendersons fan back in the 90s? Like, you know, when it comes to Harrison Ford, like, what are your top Harry movies? When that
Star
Ford
Wars
gets
trilogy,
all Harry. Sure,
original.
I'll count it.
I really love Sabrina.
Yes.
I really love 6 Days, 7 Nights, starring Harry and Anne Hesh.
Yes, that's also. So you're what? You're 5 for 5.
And Indiana Jones.
But
I feel like I don't know him well enough.
The
I'm
Indy.
not as familiar with Indy as I am with, say, 6 Days, 7 Nights.
That's true. I think you definitely hit the. I don't know the move like. I don't know all the Harrison Ford target audience. I don't know anything in which they were trying to go for a 60% female target audience in the 90s. You just named all those movies.
Man, I'm telling you, Sabrina. I just made that sound because you made that sound. I just wanted to be like you there, Sabrina.
I want to be like
is so great, and he's so hot in Sabrina. Even though he's trying to be a nerd, and his name's Linus. Linus, right? Yes.
Yes.
He's trying to be a nerd. Poor guy can't do it. He's just too hot to handle.
I know.
It's too hot. Anyway, I could talk about Harrison Ford for a
My
while.
hottest version of Harry Ford was pre-changing his look in The Fugitive, talking full beard and everything.
He was good looking in The Fugitive.
Yeah, dude was like on the ranks with Tim Allen and could totally play a Santa Claus, like a sexy looking Santa Claus. That's right. I think Tim Allen and Harrison Ford could have played a sexy Santa Claus in the 90s.
Tim Allen did play a sexy Santa Claus in the 90s.
Yeah, I guess he did.
He did. But this has another question in my... Wait, I have a question.
Sure.
The
Lauren,
movie...
your hand is literally up.
Something...
You can put your hand down.
No, I'm polite.
Okay.
This is something I've
It's not a
always...
polite gesture to leave your hand up while you ask your question.
Yes. The movie U.S. Marshals and The Fugitive.
Sure.
It's essentially the exact same movie.
It is, because one is in the universe.
Is it?
Are you kidding me? No.
I've always wondered why.
They're so similar, and they both have Tommy Lee Jones as a part of a bureau that's trying to track down this how do I put it? Fugitive?
I know, but why
How have you never caught that?
Because they made the same movie twice. It's not a sequel. It's the same movie twice.
It really is. It really is. But that's like lethal. Like, that was reoccurring in the 90s. If it works once, you change maybe one or two characters and you make it again.
But like, he could have done another crime. He still was like murdered his wife.
Did he? I can't. Now, who is the?
I think he did. Now that I'm saying that, I feel like I shouldn't really just claim to remember.
Well, hold on. I'm not 100% sure on this.
No one is, because it's a mystery.
So, Lauren, what are we doing here with this podcast?
Oh yeah. So we're basically here to talk about. Well, you're the hit. Oh gosh, Unhitched your dad
Hey,
trying,
Lauren,
right?
throw me the ball.
I'm unhitched.
Open.
You ready?
I'm ready. Throw me the ball. Okay.
Boosh.
Oh, shoot. Dang it. It went over the fence. Hold on.
Okay.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Anderson?
Come. Yes. Come in.
Can I get my ball? It's in the backyard.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Anderson, are you okay?
Just get your damn ball and leave.
Mr. Anderson?
I hate this so much.
Okay.
Sorry.
And you're an improv, right?
You gotta warn me.
Okay. Improv starts now. So I have the ball. This is a podcast where you, going off the title here, are the unhitched part of this here duo. I'm the dad, and I'm perhaps how you say trying at life, trying at things. I don't know. This sounded like get rich or die trying. We don't know why this podcast is named the way it is. It is the way it is. So suck it. And shouldn't get in the habit of telling our listeners to suck it, but it's a podcast in which we rate and review life's outings and experiences to ultimately determine who's got it better, the singles, a.k.a. our unhitched, or our dad's tryings, or maybe even somewhere in between with the male weeds. Am I right?
That's right.
Yeah. So this week, well, should we get into our topic thunder?
Yes.
Boom, 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 topic thunder.
What? Our topic thunder this week is a game near and dear to many people's hearts, including mine, and it's Cards Against Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
The wildly inappropriate, always offensive, fun game to play with your friends, probably not your kids, unless they're adult kids.
Or your family, if you have a really cool family.
Yeah.
Lauren, do you have a cool enough family that you can play Cards Against Humanity with?
It depends on the family members. Which side, which age.
Your mom and dad.
Yes. They probably would not find it as funny as we do.
But you could actually probably get through a game.
Yes.
See, I don't think I could with my mom and dad, well, it might be a little difficult, but
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm really picturing this in my head. It just got really uncomfortable. It's one of these games that is, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's like in the title. It's not in the title. I don't know why I thought that, but it
goes against humanity.
It goes, and I'm all about humanity. I don't know about you. I'm pro humanity, and I totally think that this game has ruined friendships, perhaps even marriages. It makes complete sense that it would, just because, I mean, that's the whole premise. You're just essentially putting cards that represent thoughts that you think a person would like. The cards essentially reflect something very nasty in the world, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you would choose to play it at a certain time could potentially, I don't know, really give someone a weird view of you and what you think is humorous.
That's true. I feel like it's a good way to weed out the people that can't handle you and can't handle your sense of humor.
Exactly.
Because I feel like it's a really good way of immediately finding like-minded people. Like, sometimes, you look at the cards and you're like, who put that one in? I really like that one.
Right.
And suddenly you're like, whoa, I didn't know, but we have the same sense of humor.
Exactly. Well, here's my problem with the game, though. It's because eventually you are limited. The very premise of the game, it's like apples to apples. Someone flips a card and it's a question, and then you play your card that has a word that's usually vulgar, or a sentence that's usually vulgar that could be a potential answer to that question. Mm-hmm. And with that, I don't know, sometimes you just get a very, you get a person that will play that one card that's just like, you ran out of cards in your deck, right? Like, you're obviously playing this card that's very awful and very offensive, just because you ran out of cards, and you must really have some stuff that's way worse. And I can kind of sense that with people, but then every once in a while, it's amazing how I'm shocked by friends that will play some of the stuff. And we, this weekend, actually played the game together, did we not?
We did. Yeah. We played this game at our friends Amber and John's house. I don't know how to pluralize
J&A's.
friends, Amber and John's. Anyway, it was fun. I was a seventh wheel. There were 3 married couples and me, and 4 baby girls, and me. So it was really fun, though, because
you had fun.
I did have a lot of
Look
fun.
at that.
I had a lot of fun because y'all are all crazy psychopaths who play Cards Against Humanity and play for keeps and stuff. And
exactly,
I was impressed with the amount of filth that came out of y'all's card decks, y'all's decks.
Well, yes.
You fathers and mothers of daughters, you threw down in Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a good game to play with people that you've always kind of been friends with. Not to say anything about Amber and John, but I've just really didn't know them that well. Mm-hmm. And I guess I've never met John before, but
I didn't know him at all.
Oh, really?
No. I was
yeah.
You said you didn't know him well. You're like, I've never met him before.
I really haven't. And so it's a good icebreaker, and it really helps when you're. It wasn't that I was having a hard time connecting with this guy I haven't met, but it's something like this game really it's a good bridge, because when you get nasty early in a relationship, it oftentimes blossoms, as they say.
That's what I'm saying. It's a great room thinner to figure out who you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I feel like we all need to calm down about the vulgarity of these cards, because I can look around the room and be like, I know that Cameron didn't write any of these cards. He's just playing the cards he's been dealt.
Now there is an option in some of the games for you to write your own cards, and I have been in a game. In fact, I think you and I have had a very horrifying experience when we played about a year and a half ago, where we met a friend of a friend, I think a friend of a friend's friend, at a bar. And then Amy, pregnant wife Amy, myself, I don't know why I was referring to her as pregnant wife Amy, but she was pregnant at the time. We all, 4 or 5 of us, went over to this dude's house.
Yeah.
And he was very welcoming. He had a lot of Topo Chico in his refrigerator. Maybe like just a little too much, but also like maybe, I don't know.
Fine by me.
It was a lot.
Pull me that sweet Chico.
Yeah, and he had a lot of massaging apparatuses all throughout his house.
He did. He had 5 head scratchers at least.
5, yes.
And I think at least 3
that were
cats.
for his cats.
For his cats, yes.
Sure.
And cats with thumbs.
But did you notice, like, when we walked in this guy's place, one, it was in one of the more rundown neighborhoods, but it was a nice house in a very rundown neighborhood. And these apparatuses were just kind of like lying out there, almost as if, like, for us, like,
hey, make yourself at home.
Yeah, make yourself at home.
Grab
Feel
a
free to
head
massage
scratcher.
yourself with this 2-knobbed pitchfork.
That's
Right. So,
Oh yeah, so that you can write in your own card answers, which I find awkward. I don't like that.
yeah.
I don't like that at all.
So sorry, while you were talking about this, I actually was pulling up some of the best cards in the deck of Cards Against Humanity, and it's quite awful. Even for this podcast, we can't even say
That's
some of
okay.
these cards.
I want to ask you a question though, Cam.
Sure.
Because now I really am curious about this. As a now father, because you weren't a father the last time you played this game, I'm pretty sure. How is it different now that you have a baby girl in the world who's living and breathing and like growing and absorbing information to then play cards that say things like masturbating leprechaun on them and things like that?
I never got that card.
I just made
So,
That's
look,
the
so
one
you're
I
asking
keep in my
me, how do I
pocket.
feel knowing that I could potentially think about masturbating leprechauns
No.
in the evening while going about and being a father the next day?
That's not what I mean.
Okay.
I just mean playing a game that can be so offensive and vulgar with like while having a little absorbing child.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's a sponge essentially, right?
She is a sponge.
And she's
We take that masturbating
my
one
God.
out of the card deck when we play with our daughter. Don't worry.
We need to bleep that word out. I'm so mad I said it. But basically, now I just want to know, as a father, does it change the view of the game to you, or is the game still what it was?
Mama and Daddy got to get out and play. You know, we gotta have our fun. We gotta go have our night about the town. And by night about the town, I mean go to the suburbs and play a card game with some other married folks. Sure. I mean, I am completely unfazed by it. I think if anything, I want to play this game now more. I don't know if that's just me becoming more vulgar in my life, or if it's just, I don't know, something about being a dad. When you let loose, right?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't like the way you...
Daddy's got to play his games. You know what I mean?
Sure, Daddy.
Okay. Please don't call me Daddy. Please only let me refer to myself as Daddy.
I don't like this.
Okay. So,
Amy.
So what was some of your favorite cards outside of the masturbating realm?
I can't say them on the podcast.
So if you could pick any, so one of my favorites cards that we did get was blank, kid tested, mother approved. That was a good one. You know, one of the cards I did play was incest during that, and
Yes.
and I didn't get picked, although I thought I would. What was one of your favorite card combinations that we did have?
Oh, crap, Cameron.
You can't even remember.
I can't remember things
Oh,
like that.
gosh.
I can't remember. Those are like
But
just
you're young,
shooting.
you're free, you're single.
They're shooting stars in the night. They're beautiful when they're there, but then they're gone, and I can't recreate them.
Okay. Well, there was only one other that I can remember, and it was something in regards. It was like white people really like blank, and there were a lot of cards that were thrown on the table, and a lot of them, oh gosh, were just awful, and like I can't even repeat them. Very vulgarish. 2 of them were racist, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with us? And I was just looking at my deck, and I had the perfect card, best card I've ever played. I don't even know if it got picked, but
It
as
did.
soon as I put it down, I knew that this is the best sentence that was ever created, and it was the card that was created for the blank. I almost feel like, and it was. I don't want to say it myself because then it seems very like
arrogant or
arrogant.
like maybe like yes, it was white people really like magnets,
And we do. We really do.
we sure do.
And let me tell you, one of the things as being a father, one of my favorite toys for my daughter, aka really myself, has been block magnets, Tegu block magnets. Have you seen me playing with these things?
Is Tegu the brand?
Yes.
Or is that okay?
Tegu.
I wasn't sure if that was just
So,
your new way of like
I don't know.
saying things.
Tegu.
Tegu.
Tegu, makoto. And so these magnets are just like, they're a joy. They're better than Legos. Although, I don't know. We're going to get into that. That'll be a debate for the 2020 election. I don't know. 2021, I don't even know. And Tegus are essentially these different colored blocks. Some are long, like the, I don't know, like long Lego blocks, and some are just like, kind of like 4x4 type square blocks, and they just magnetize together. And they're made of wood, and it's super hipster. It's super cool. They look cool. And
you look cool playing with them.
you look cool as an adult playing with them because you're like, I'm just a white person playing with magnets. Is what we do. And the other great thing about this is that when your daughter plays with them, she automatically thinks that all things stick together just naturally. And then you watch her try to put other things together, and the magic isn't really happening, and they're just kind of just clunking and falling to the floor. And then you kind of get a chuckle like, haha, I've already taught her the world works wrong. And
you're like, there's an exception to this rule.
Exactly. And so I can't wait as a white married father to one day explain the joy to my daughter all about the wonderful world of magnets. And so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Magnetize Me, Captain. That's a segment I do now on the podcast.
Gosh.
So, ultimately, I think we had a blast.
It was really fun.
I know. I think just it was a good evening. I don't think we've really had a. Usually when we're hanging out, it usually is single heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We hang around like all your single friends that are heavy. I don't know what the joke is, but like
You're going to get slapped for that.
I'm trying to think. Like it's usually like 20. Like it's usually big groups, right? And it's mostly single people. Like maybe there's
Not
one
as much anymore. Everyone's getting paired off.
getting hitched per se,
Yeah.
and the rest are dying trying. And
Oh my gosh, I want to hit you so bad.
what do you mean?
Keep going.
Lauren. I don't know.
I won't, but I want to.
If you would never hit me.
No, I wouldn't.
No, so I can say whatever I want.
You could do that thing where you put your hand on my head and I like swing, try and hit you.
Yeah.
But you like hold me out.
Easy there, cowboys.
Calm down, Missy. Hey, little miss, you chill. Oh my gosh. I just offended myself.
Hey, you little miss, chill. I don't know. That sounds like it could be a brand of like ice creams. Like, hey, you little miss chills.
Or like
Hey.
the female marketing attempt of the Lemon Chill company.
Exactly.
to
I'm thinking lemon chills.
show up, or like we need to target more our female demographic.
Right.
Little Miss Chill. Anyway,
We need to get them little misses. Hey, Lauren, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Anytime you hear the word chill, do you immediately think of lemon chills? Because I definitely do.
almost every time.
Because I have like this, I don't know, word synesthesia where like if someone says like a box, I immediately picture one of those upset or question mark boxes from Mario Kart.
Huh.
Yeah, that's my image of a box in my head. And then whenever someone says the word chill, I immediately think of lemon chills.
And
So-
your mouth immediately starts watering for that tart, sweet, lemony coldness.
Oh yes, that sucks to eat with those plastic spoons that they give you.
Because
and
they're not
they
strong
just
enough.
yeah they don't. And but then you wait a little while.
You-
I think the best part of lemon chills is patience.
That's
if you
the
really
secret
think about it.
ingredient.
Exactly. So anyway,
But good night.
It was a good night. It was
really fun.
It was a married heavy night, and so
But I liked
was
it.
glad to. I know, not that you would hate it, but I think exposure to that is good for the soul. Mm-hmm. Right?
You want to know what I did though? After
What did you do?
I went over to a friend's house after.
Of course,
Yeah,
because the night was still young for you.
the night was young. It was 11.
Even if we stayed up till maybe like 2 a.m., I feel like you would still have that need there because there's something about you that's just like, I can't end the night with married people. I gotta cleanse. Like you needed who was your single palate cleanser, if I may? Who did you go hang out with?
My roommates.
Oh, okay. That
My
doesn't
roommate,
count.
we went
That's
over-
called going home.
Well, no, we went over to another friend's house,
Okay.
and I met a friend's brother, and we literally just like all talked till like 2:30 in the morning. It was late.
Talk about a palate cleanser. That's like eating ginger right there.
I know. It was fun though, but I will say Cards Against Humanity with you guys
Was better.
was the highlight.
Yeah. And hey, you got us some great treats. You stepped
I
out.
did.
Yeah.
I went and got y'all ice cream and cookies.
And you got me my special request ice cream. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Bluebell cookie two-step.
Yeah. How do you feel? It was a very cookie heavy night. And one of the worst parts of the night was when I found out from Amber that a person can't like ice cream. Is that?
You look so puzzled.
No, like,
I don't get it either.
but it wasn't like after another like minute of talking with her, Amy and I like interrogated her, and I played good cop, and Amy played fiery cop, and like feisty cop because she's my little feisty wife. Anyway,
feisty piece.
she's my little feisty piece. And she like it wasn't a gimmick. It like really was true to her soul. It wasn't like some cute thing that someone would say in like your college like orientation camp to be the cool one. Like
Right.
this girl doesn't like ice cream.
It's like when I was a kid and I used to say, I don't like mac and cheese. And I would always get a reaction.
Right.
But that's a lie.
Exactly.
I do like, and I did like mac and cheese.
I used to do this thing where just to piss off my parents, I would say I don't like A&M. And when I was really kind of
you still do that to me.
That's true.
And it really pushes my buttons.
I'm very indifferent to it. Can I be
Yeah, yes, you're just like to disagree with me.
It's not disagreeing. It's just like you're having this argument and I'm just walking away while you're in mid-argument. Like that's how I feel
That
about
is
it.
disagreeable to me.
It's fine. I'm arguing with you. But I don't think that's okay. I mean, I think it's worse that she actually just doesn't like it. I think something has happened to her tongue, to her face, like something. She must have like watched too many microwaves when she was a child. I don't know, but it just. I know we're not rating and reviewing Amber as singles and marrieds, but I don't know. After that was said, I just don't really know Amber. After she said that, I have to definitely say wholeheartedly, John is way better than Amber.
Well,
I'm saying that.
it's been recorded. And
Okay,
it's
no.
strictly for her lack of love for ice cream that this is based on. But really, she's the
Amber,
perfect friend
if
for
you ever listen to this, just know the only reason I hate you.
Hate. It just went from he's better to hate.
It was a momentary hate. Like, in the moment, I probably really did hate you, but now we good. Hey, you opened your home to us. And you create. Hey, we had some really good spaghetti from them.
You did.
Yes.
So, Cards Against Humanity. I don't really know how this differs with our status. Single versus married with kids.
Sure.
I think, like...
So you're basically admitting you don't know the premise of our podcast?
I don't get how the Cards Against Humanity relates
So,
to that.
I will go first. And
Please
take
do.
notes. Take
Please
notes.
do.
So as a married father, as I've already alluded to this from your very beautiful, poignant question, I love playing this a lot more as a married father. Like, it's just, you need these outlets because so much of your day is contained Now I'm starting to have to watch how much, like, the things I say around Ellie. I'm having to watch my actions. It's just this typical stuff people talk about when they become a father. And now you're like, oh, yeah, I need to do that. Like, she is a sponge, and she really is taking this all in. So, after hours, Carter's After Hours, we let loose. This is a great game to let loose, too. If I'm going ahead and going into ratings, because I feel like this is a good segue for ratings, I would go ahead and give this, just the night and good friends and things like that. This is generally something I enjoyed, and that's why we picked it for this podcast. We've been picking things that we kind of enjoy a lot. I would give this probably a 7, like a solid 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's lower than I expected.
Well, I mean, this isn't. 5 is the average. Keep in mind, 5 is like, but 7's like, hey, like, are there other games I would prefer that we play? Yes, because I'm also finding as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm really starting to crave more games that have a little bit more strategy to them. Like, if I was to change Cards Against Humanity, I would allow people to have more than 7 cards and really kind of give you a full arsenal or full vocabulary, if you will, to really kind of let people kind of pick up on your scent. Because I feel like much of that game with new people you've just met is still based on luck. Right. If you're playing with people that you know very well and you're only limited to 5, 6, or 7 cards, then you can maybe tell. But like with new people, it's kind of like, at least new people to me, I still felt like it was luck. Because I don't know John, I don't know Amber, and yeah.
Yeah. Well,
7.
cool.
So, thank you, Lauren.
For me, it was like a normal Cards Against Humanity game. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with you guys, but
You don't see colors, nor do you see marrieds or singles.
no, I mean, there was a moment. Well, no, I really didn't feel like a 7th wheel, like the whole time. I will say, I did feel strange being the only non-mom female there.
Sure.
That was bizarre. Like, as I sat there, I was like, I am the only one who has not birthed a child.
Yeah.
And that suddenly made me feel very strange. But that was a momentary hiccup.
I would say the strangest part of the night was when you were in the mom picture and you were holding one of Amber's 2 twins.
I know, and someone commented and was like, oh, Lauren's daughter looks just like Amber's daughter.
Did someone...
And she didn't realize they were twins.
Wow. I hope that person also...
Hey, you know what? A lot of babies look alike. I would probably think the same thing if I didn't know.
That's true.
Yeah, babies, they're all just like little smushes,
Okay.
Little smush.
And I am going to put this on the podcast for the record. Babies just aren't that special. Like little babies, like the fresh out of the oven ones.
They don't do anything.
They don't do anything, and they're nasty as, like, they're crusty or soppy. It's like a wet booger that you left out in the sun to dry, and now it's on the paint, and you have to, like, I don't know.
Gosh. I'm so happy that Ellie's made it past this stage for you.
Oh, thank you. Ellie was fine. Like, and I don't mean that in, when I first held her, like, for the first few days, it was life-changing, because you're like, the woman that I love most in the world, and I have, with a little luck, have created this person, and she's crying, and it kind of gets on her nerves, but, like, you get caught up in the magic of it. But then after a while, you're like, okay, like, I know you're going to get a lot better. You're like, and it's very true. And it's like, I know this is going to get better. I know you're going to get better. Like, and then lo and behold, it's like, oh, you're incredibly more incredible than we ever thought you would be. And you're not crusty, and you don't have weird skin problems or jaundice. It's just like, it's like buying a used car, It's like the paint's chipping. It's like, I don't know. You're like, you got to do some work on it. You got to, get rid of some parts, change the oil every once in a while, or frequently in our case. And it's like, I don't know.
Having a kid is like getting a used car.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Now I know. It was
I'm really liking this new one word response, Lauren.
I know, I'm sorry. It's a little bit later.
Only using the C word.
Cool, man. That's so cool.
Hey, Lauren, let me ask you, how do you feel about science?
Cool.
Oh, dang it.
Pretty cool.
I was expecting cool.
Cool.
Science.
Cool cubed, man. Cool cubed, bro. So yes, my Cards Against Humanity rating. Great night. I'm gonna give it the game. I'm honestly rating the game. I don't love that game.
Oh.
I don't love it. I find it kind of boring after a while.
Yeah.
I get a little frustrated because I think my answers are always the best and they're not always chosen.
Right, because ultimately the poopy and the cards about sex, poop, and toilet humor, at least for that group, were the ones getting picked.
Well, those are hilarious and they should be picked, but when I played them, they didn't get picked.
No,
So
they didn't.
I am going to give the game itself a 6. That is not a reflection of the company nor the night, but the game I give a 6, and I don't really want to play it again for a while. So don't ask me to play it again, people. I want to play Linky. Okay, that's the game I want to play. It's a new game that I love.
Linky? Like, is that
Linky.
just like how long you can contain it, or
No, not what?
What is Linky?
Linky is a game.
Oh, Linky, like
Linkee. I won't explain it because that's boring, but it's a fun game, and I want to play it. So when you're playing it, let me know.
fair enough. Well, Amy and I, for the more married nerd, like we're like nerds, you know, but we're not like smart nerds. Amy's the smart nerd. Amy's the book nerd, and I'm the just like
Derp nerd.
derp nerd. I don't know what a derp nerd is, but
Look in the mirror. Oh.
cool.
Maybe I'm a derp nerd.
But there was a game that we played with our married friends called House on a or Murder on a. Oh gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts. It was
Murder on
like
the Orient
Betrayal
Express.
on like something hill. And basically, you're in this house, and you essentially start creating this house around you, and you start to explore this house. And then you reach this point of the game where you find out that someone in your band of like kids that you're with is a stinking murderer. Damn. And then this game is always different. Every time you play it, you then go to the rule book, and you essentially create a situation in which people like get murdered, and you have to explore this house that you've created and like explore together. Anyway, it's amazing. It's way better than this stupid game.
What stupid game?
Cards Against Humanity. There are better options.
There are better options, but
Right.
it was a great night. And
Sure.
people and apples to apples, like get that out of here. I don't ever
Yeah,
want to play apples to apples again.
Exactly. Well, I'm done with it.
If I'm going to play a game that is so 100% subjective, I'm going to go for Cards Against Humanity.
Exactly.
Humanity.
Well, all of them. I think we've pretty much have put a good pin in that.
Yeah, this horse is dead.
Let's kill another horse, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, let's go to dumb things.
Yay!
Dumb things.
Okay, if I can get air into my lungs between the stench of your dog farting.
You just noted this, that one time I did my dog farting as being a dumb thing. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I legitimately thought about doing it again.
It's really bad.
It's so bad right now.
There's something like it smells like burning tires.
We talk about my dog's farts and anus and butthole way too much on this podcast. I think
she flaunts them.
she does flaunt. Like,
Look at
a
me.
lot of dogs, like that corgi video you showed me where the dog's just like wagging his Beyonce butt. I don't know why I just said that.
His booty.
His booty. And like Luna just flaunts her butthole. Like she I don't know.
She does.
It's so prominent. And anyway, I is it still here or is it gone?
It's gone.
Okay.
It's gone.
I'm like talking through my shirt right now and it's really annoying.
Dumb things.
So
Not
that's
dog
not my
farts.
dumb thing.
No.
This week, Lauren, why don't you ask me? I felt like I just jumped in there.
I didn't ask you anything.
Well, like, Lauren, I felt like I was just like maybe like just jumping into it too soon. I want you to give me the like. Lauren, I'm going to ask you something. What's your dumb thing for this week?
Okay. My dumb thing is a mystery to me. It is something that I'm not sure if it's like a gift given from a generous neighbor or maybe like someone trying to poison me. I don't know what it is. But basically, this morning, I get out to my car trying to get to work on time, which is hard for me. And there is a plate sitting on the hood of my car. It's a paper plate, a nice sturdy Dixie. And
a nice sturdy Dixie.
It's got food on it. I mean, a full plate of food covered in foil. And it's just sitting on the hood of my car at 8:30 this morning. And I just look at it and I'm kind of like, is this a gift? Is this a trap?
Wait, any like bystanders nearby?
No one, not a soul. I eventually noticed this very, very, very old lady sitting in the car about 3 cars down. And I'm thinking...
She's just like, turn on your car, please warm my food.
And I'm thinking, first of all, I don't think this lady should be driving. Like, she can hardly see over the wheel. But I'm also thinking, did she make me this food? And is this her way of like... She probably had nothing to do with the food. But I just didn't know what to do. I thought, is this someone's meal? Like,
Grandma Crabtree just wants to see you get in your car and drive off into the wild blue yonder and just kind of like wild blue yonder, and just like, I don't know, live vicariously through you as you go on your adventures. But she's like, I'm going to give you a snack first.
So this is her way of like, go have fun.
Go
and
have fun.
Food.
I left your little fly in there too. Extra protein.
It was ridiculous. I just kind of looked around and I felt somehow responsible for this plate. Like it was
your
like,
child.
Yeah, like it was left on my doorstep, and now I need to raise it.
That's my daughter Emily. Don't cook her too hot.
So I literally just put it on the sidewalk. And I was like, I kind of looked at it and I was like, sorry. Like I thought, my bad, bye plate, and I left it. And then
you didn't go to a fire station and leave it off at one of those safe places?
A safe drop. It was
the firemen are like, is this a volunteer meal for us or a baby? I can't tell this time.
Like, I don't know either. But I just wonder. I wonder a couple things. One, if it was left there the night before, of like some people were going to bring food, like maybe they were going to bring food to their boyfriend, right? Like they made this food,
sure,
and they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to give Travis this plate of food I made.
I'm gonna put it on us, bro.
He's gonna love it. I worked so hard.
And look at this Rogue One. I like that. I like Star Wars.
What do you? She's not like, she can talk normal, Cameron.
Well, you kind of started this. You started this voice.
So she goes to see Travis, right? And she has her plate of food, and she's all excited to see him, and knocks on the door, and she hears,
"What?
What?" And she's like, "Travis, it's me. I brought you some dinner." And he's like,
"Just a minute. Just hold on 1 second. Get out of here. Get out. Go.
Travis."
Nothing. My mom's just leaving.
Oh, your mom, I've been wanting to meet her. Tell her to come to the door.
And then you walk inside, and then you found out that Travis' mom has made him a lot of food already.
Yeah, his mom's already cooked dinner.
And he's like, "You food slut."
And so
she's like, "You food slut."
So you like pout and whine the whole time because you know your food won't compare to Mama's food. Mm-hmm. So in your act of rebellion, you walk out. So you just say, "I'm not even hungry, Travis. Bye, Mrs. Darty." And you walk out and you just leave the plate of food on the nearest car and then run away flailing and crying. That's what I imagined. That's option A. Option B is poisoned and someone is out to get me.
You just did the numbers to letters thing.
Option 1A, option 2B.
Okay.
Those are the only 2 options. Or option 3C, old lady McGillicuddy's, old lady Crabtree's warming her food on my hot hood.
Warming her daughter.
My hot hood. So yeah, that's I felt a ridiculous amount of like kind of remorse for putting it on the ground, but I was like, what? Who leaves a plate on someone's hood?
I don't know. I think
Where do I live?
this is like if we're going to like the comic books and we're doing kind of a character study of the Joker, right? And it's kind of like the Joker. How did he get his start? This is a man that wants to watch the world burn, right? And you just don't wake up and become that way. Your dad cut some scars on your face. You never really know. You never get your story straight. But I'm going to say that somewhere along the line, you maybe just started with some just harmless little pranks. Maybe you just were just like, I'm going to mess with this girl's mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this plate of food right on her hood. It's going to drive her crazy.
It's gonna eat at me at night, eat away at me, and wonder and think how no one ever got to eat that plate of food.
Yes, you came there. I'm going to say it's a little sloppy. I'm going to give you a 6 on that landing.
I got confused with my words. They were all rolling around in my noggin.
They eventually rolled right out of your mouth, and that's what counts.
It was like a gumball machine. You could see it all in there, but when you turn the knob, you're like, "What color is it going to be?"
What color? It's coming down the spiral. Oh, the lights are lighting up. It's coming, and I already know it's great, but it's not there yet. Here it comes. Clink. And you roll it, and then it just rolls right out and rolls under one of the other arcade machines like Jurassic Park World.
Right. Cool. So, Cameron, that's my dumb thing.
That's more of an intriguing, like...
mystery.
There are a lot of good podcasts out there that kind of take little mysteries like this and just, like, for instance, there's this Gimlet podcast. I always forget what it's called, but they essentially look at the mystery of this girl who saw a license plate that said, I love 9/11.
Oh, we've talked about this.
Yeah, and did a lot of research to finally track down the license plate. And anyway, what's up?
We talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well. Okay, so my dumb thing for this week.
I'm sorry.
So we're already at that point where I'm already retelling these stories. My dumb thing for this week comes courtesy of my wife. And really just moments before you walked in. As you know, my wife has been doing this like summer course, right? Essentially, it's kind of like an internship for kind of fast tracking teaching, because she wanted to be a teacher and found out there's this route they can do it very well and very efficiently, and so she just went on and met a couple friends along the way. All these teachers ended up getting jobs throughout this giant school district of like over 100 schools. And so they still keep up via text. And so like they share in these experiences every once in a while, just on like what's going on with their kids, what dumb things their kids have done. And there was a gem of a dumb, just not just so much the kids, but like just the creation that came from one of Amy's friends in this lady's class today. Apparently they were doing arts and crafts, and the craft for the day was caterpillars. We're going to take some construction paper, some googly eyes, glitter, and pipe cleaners, and you're going to follow along as we create this long circled caterpillar. And I don't know what's really going on with this. Like, I'm just going to assume, let's call this person Courtney, the teacher. Courtney, I'm imagining maybe like was giving a story to go along with the caterpillar. We're creating the Mr. Happy caterpillar, or we're
hungry caterpillar.
Yes, the hungry caterpillar game that we all know.
Yes, the hungry caterpillar. He eats a hole in everything.
Well, apparently there are pictures of this, and I will be posting this online so you get the visual with it. But all the caterpillars came out with, like, when it came to doing the faces, the kids put the googly eyes on, they give them pipe cleaners, and then the most expressionless look on the caterpillar, and, like, no smile, no curvature in the mouth that was Sharpied on or, like, markered on. And Courtney kept sending my wife these pictures, picture after picture after picture after picture of each kid's individual art projects, in which none of these
all indifferent.
All indifferent. So, like,
Wow.
the art series is called, like, The Indifferent Caterpillar, and it's so unnerving, but that was, like, not a premise. Like, the kids all just happened to make caterpillars that had a very indifferent disposition in life. Like,
They're like, this is what I feel about this dumb caterpillars art.
needless to say, it was a younger group, I think, like, first or second grade, and it's just fantastic.
Gosh.
I mean, really capturing the soul of the child in the moment as they follow along. It was one of those very, like, follow the teacher type art projects, but I don't know.
Maybe she just really made this caterpillar. I can't say that word, apparently. Caterpillar. That's a great word. Oh my gosh.
Do you think it's funny how the word caterpillar kind of looks like a caterpillar? And it's long like a caterpillar, too. You kind of got...
I think that's all in our heads.
Well, aren't all things?
Yes.
Okay.
But that association is in our heads. Like the word...
Like the word box and the upside down question mark from Mario Kart.
Right. Like it's associated now. So
like
you
lemon
just
chill, right? Mm. That's another good C word. Yeah, so that's my dumb thing for this week.
I want to see those pictures
So
of these indifferent caterpillars.
We'll throw these up on the probably my Instagram for this week, which I would say is a good enough transition to the end of our podcast for this week.
All right.
Okay.
It's been a cool, chill ep, man.
It's been a cool, chill caterpillar ep.
Yeah, we've been caterpillaring all over the place. That sounds like we made a mess or something.
Well, that about does it for this week of Unhitched or Dad Trying. If you're interested in following Lauren or I on social media, you can follow Lauren Neat at
Neateroni on Instagram, Neateroni, or on Twitter, Neatos Tweetos.
And you can follow me at Cam Carter 2010 on all the internet devices and things, and just in the clouds and in the trons and in the matrixes.
Yes.
These are all jokes, movie-based internet jokes.
Also, if you want to write us an email, you can send us an email at unhitchedyourdadtrying@gmail.com. We will take questions and we will answer them.
That is true. And lastly, if you're a fan of the podcast, share it with your friends. And if you're really a fan, you should definitely get on iTunes, click that leave a comment, review button. I don't know. Find the button that lets you leave a review and leave us one of those handy dandy reviews telling us how much you feel in your heart about our podcast.
So next week, I'm going to tell you guys another story that's going to probably make all you single ladies' eyes roll. And I'm going to need help from all the men out there to help me understand what the heck was going on with this situation. How's that for a teaser?
That's a pretty good one.
All right.
Yes.
That's all I got.
I
Goodbye.
really think we should have just let it go after that, but I opened my dumb, cool mouth. So that about does it for this episode. We'll see you next week with that cool episode coming out.
You just wait and see.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.